All right, sorry about that, folks. We had a little technical difficulty. I hit the wrong button, first broadcast and all. So we bring Roberson up to the plate against Cold Iron. The first pitch, he fouled back. Here's the second pitch. Curveball that misses outside. 1-1 count on the first baseman, Roberson. Defensively, again, we have Cold Iron on the mound. Jerry behind the plate. Hardy's over at first. Looking really grim up the middle with both the Grimm brothers at short and second. Benham over at third. And here's the 1-1 is foul, just foul by third base. Benham was over there to glove it anyways. Brings up a 1-2 count. To continue how we're set defensively out in left field, we've got Carson Dudry in center field, Opfer, and in right field, Weiss. Cold Iron with his 10th pitch of the ball game. Curveball that just freezes him, half swings. First strikeout of the game for Cold Iron. That was a terrific pitch. Started it inside, brought it back to the inside corner, and just froze him there with a half swing.
Number 5, Grant Snelling.
All right, brings up to bat with one down. Number 5, right fielder Grant Snelling, Cold Iron, from the stretch. Fastball busts along the inside corner for strike number 1.
I wouldn't leave that spot.
Curveball right down the tubes, breaking to the outside corner. Excellent pitch. Just froze him. 0-2 count on the batter, right fielder Snelling. Jerry sets up out off the plate. Here's the delivery. Curveball high and busts him out and away. That's strikeout number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for Cold Iron.
Now batting catcher number 10, Jaden Davis.
He keeps mowing him like this. He's going to have to start his own lawn care service. Brings up to bat number 10, catcher Jaden Davis. Davis batting from the right side. Cold Iron from the stretch. Here's the first pitch. Fastball on that inside corner, but a little bit low. That's going to be ball 1. One 0 count. Again, we're here in the top of the second inning. 0-0 score. Pitch from Cold Iron. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-1 on Davis. Fastball inside and down. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Fastball fouled off down the right field line and out of play.
Hi, Tanner Huber.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Tanner Huber, who apparently is listening online. Tanner, we love you, kid. Hope you enjoyed the shout out.
Great game.
2-2 count on the catcher, Jaden Davis. Cold Iron from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Curveball grounded over to third. Big hop to Benham across the diamond to Hardy's for out number 3. So again, Cold Iron being really efficient. 2 strikeouts gets him to go 1-2-3, brings him down in order. Only thrown 16 pitches so far this game, so he's doing a great job in the pitch count department. I'm going to try not to disconnect the session this time and just turn off the microphone for a couple of seconds. But going into the bottom of the second inning, your score 0-0, due up for Gretna, Hardy's, Dudry, and Devine. We'll be back in 30 seconds. And welcome back. Thank you for the little break as the catcher throws it down to second at the end of warm-ups here in the bottom of the second inning. So far, you have a pretty good pitcher's duel as both pitchers have seen the minimum amount of batters. Brings up to bat for the second time. This is going to be a fresh at bat for the first baseman, number 19, Kobe Hardees. Kraus on the mound, full windup. Here's the pitch. Low fastball fouled off to the right side and out of play by Hardees, 0-1. So Hardees kind of reached a little bit for that one. We'll see what he does the rest of this at bat. I'll try not to be biased. There's a pitch low and in the dirt, evening up the count at 1-1. One delivery to Hardees. Down low, 2-1. One compliment I will give Kobe is for a big guy, he sees a lot of pitches at the plate. Fairly selective. 2-1. Fastball on the outside edge, he just missed, fouled to the backstop. 2-2. So Hardees trying to get something going here at the beginning of the bottom of the second for Gretna. Had one runner on base, but he was erased by a good pickoff over at first. Cue ball to the shortstop. Shortstop comes across the diamond by second, fires over to first, but he's up in the air, but the umpire says he got back down, so that's going to be ground out. 6-3.
Left fielder, number 3, Carson Dudry.
So the throw across the diamond from Monroe was a little bit high, but Robertson went up and got it, came back down before the runner got to the base for out number 1. Brings up to bat left fielder number 3, Carson Dudry. Dudry to see Kraus for the first time. Kraus from the windup, and here we go. Curveball, misses off the outside corner. Dudry was able to check his swing. 1-0 count. Kraus very deliberate from the full windup. Takes plenty of time, and there's a high pop fly in the infield. With the wind, it'll be a little difficult. Second baseman, first baseman, both converge, and the ball falls right between them. Nobody touched it, so we're going to call it a base hit. Wasn't an error. It is a pretty tough wind.
Number 6, Zach Devine.
Very strong breeze. The ball happened to find some green space right between the first baseman and the second baseman, so Dudry's going to be on, putting a runner at first, bringing up to bat the designated hitter, number 6, Zach Devine. So Devine at the plate, looking at his first delivery from Kraus. Fastball over the outside corner, a little bit low, 1-0. So here's the 1-0 count, 1-0 delivery to Dudry. Fastball right over the outside corner, makes it 1-1. Good pitch there by Kraus. Has a little tailing action, almost like a two-seam fastball. He starts it outside and kind of brings it back into the plate. So he started that last pitch to Devine, was actually off the plate and tailed right back into the outside corner. 1-1 pitch to your batter, Devine. Dudry on first. High fastball, tried to check his swing, but the bat came out and across the plate for strike 2. 1-2 count to your batter, designated hitter, Zach Devine. Again, Dudry reached on the wind-aided base hit that dropped right behind first base. He's on first. Throwback over there. Pickoff attempt close, but he got back in time. One-two count to Devine. Hard fastball inside that he fouled straight back to the wood on the bottom of the backstop. Count stays at 1-2. So Devine doing a good job of fighting out some pitches he doesn't want. Hopefully he can get that pitch he's looking for, get us started here. Dudry on first. Your pitcher, Jackson Krause from Lincoln Southeast, comes set in the stretch with a runner on first. 1-2 count on the batter. Curveball, just spot off. Great job of hitting there by Zach Devine. The ball at the last second looked like it was going to drop down into the zone. He just slapped at it and got it out of play. Fouled it off so he could live for another pitch. Excellent piece of hitting. So the count remains 1-2 to your batter Devine. Dudry over on first. Krause, the pitcher, from the stretch, comes set. Fastball down, out off the plate, in the dirt. Throwback behind the runner at first. He's back in time. So 2-2 count. So again, batters were going to be a little more patient here, making him throw more pitches. That usually equals into good things. 2-2 count to the designated hitter, Devine. Wearing the number 6, he steps out. Never called time, though. So the pitcher stays set the entire time. Here's the pitch, grounded back up, a bouncer up the middle. Only going to be a play at first, so Dudry advances up to second. Devine's going to be out on the ground ball back to the pitcher, over to first. So Krause throws it over to his first baseman, Roberson. So now with the runner on second, brings up to bat your third baseman, number 17, Tyler Benham. So the first time that the Gretna Juniors have had a runner in scoring position today. That's Dudry out on second. Be a good time for the third baseman, Benham, to come up with a good base hit here. Benham facing Krause for the first time from the stretch. Here's the delivery. Fastball right on the outside corner, just above the knees for strike one. So 0-1 count on Benham. Again, your score is 0-0 still here in Gretna. We're in the bottom of the second inning, 2 outs. Gretna does have a runner on second. Tyler Benham at the plate. Swings at an inside fastball and fouls it off. Umpire signals foul ball right away. So 0-2 is your count right now on the third baseman, Tyler Benham. Krause steps off the back of the mound, just had to wipe his eyes real quick. He's back on the mound, comes set in the stretch. 0-2 delivery. Fastball fouled off again by Benham. Again, good job of fighting off a pitch he didn't necessarily want, but too close not to swing at it. So Benham wearing the number 17, playing third base today. Fighting an 0-2 count with Dudry on second. Pitcher Krause comes set in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Curveball across the outside corner freezes him for out number 3. So for Gretna in that inning, we did have one hit on the blooper that fell between the first baseman and the second baseman just behind first base. Dudry got himself over to second on the ground ball from Devine, but with the strikeout by Benham, that's going to end the inning. So after 2 complete here at Gretna, your score remains Lincoln Southeast Vermeer High Plains Juniors 0, and the Gretna Baxter Juniors 0. We'll be back at 30.
Kevin Trombley.
And we're back and about to begin the top of the third inning of play. So, Cold Iron facing the seventh batter in the order. The batter is number 12, third baseman Devin Trumbley. So Cold Iron doesn't really throw from a full windup, just throws from the stretch all the time. And here's the pitch. Good moving pitch. It's fouled off. 0-1. Tremblay looks in. Cold Iron comes set. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Another off-speed pitch, low and in the dirt outside. 1-1's your count. So a pretty nice day. A little bit of a breeze that's going to make it difficult on high pop flies. Temperature's about, 78 degrees. Sun kind of coming and going. There's the 1-1 pitch from Cold Iron. Swing and a miss for strike two. 80 degrees here at the Dragon's Lair is what I'm being told from official meteorologist and PA announcer Ernie Ross. Here's the 1-2 delivery from Cold Iron. Curveball down in the dirt, 2-2, evens up the count.
Wind west-northwest.
According to meteorologist Ernie Ross, there's a 50% chance of everything happening today. 2-2 count. Here's Cold Iron with the delivery. Curveball in a real good place. If it missed just a little bit down on the outside edge. Great pitch. Great eye by Tremblay. Brings up a 3-2 count. Three-two delivery. Ground ball over to third. Foul just off the line. Again, Benham was right there to glove it. But your batter, Tremblay, looked pretty speedy, got out of the box really well. That was going to be a tough play if it would have stayed fair. But it didn't, so there's no use of speaking about it any longer. It's a 3-2 count. Cold Iron comes set and delivers. Fastball busts him on the inside corner. He goes down looking for out number one. Great pitch by Cold Iron.
Now batting. Left fielder, Cole Kirchhoff.
Third strikeout for the day by Cold Iron. It was just a great pitch. Just froze him on the inside corner. Brings up to bat the left fielder, number one, Cole Kirchhoff. Fastball grounded to second base. Grimm's going to pick it up, fired over to Hardy's for out number two.
Second baseman, Jason.
And to be clear, just to let you know, that's Bryce Grimm who's over at second base. Blake is at shortstop. So if it's hit up the middle, somebody with the last name of Grimm should be handling it. But that was Bryce who made that nice play to throw it over to Hardy's. Brings up to bat number 4, second baseman Jackson Reddick. Takes the first pitch from Cold Iron, fastball out off the plate. Jerry couldn't quite handle it. Gets by him to the backstop, 1-0. Here's your 1-0 delivery from Cold Iron here in the top of the third inning with 2 down. Pitch is in tight, just backed out of the way. It's going to be 1-1. I'm sorry, 2-0. So Reddick is the 9-hole batter. Cold Iron throwing pretty good, showing good control so far this game. 2-0 pitch. Nice moving pitch that I think just fooled the umpire as it cut back into the plate. Might have been a little high, but very close. Either way, it's a ball. 3-0.
The only person there that didn't know it was a strike was the umpire.
Here's a 3-0 delivery to Reddick. And that one's high and inside. Reddick's going to draw the base on balls. So the first runner on base for Vermeer High Plains.
Now batting number 7, Monroe.
So catcher Jerry calls a timeout, just have a little visit out on the mound with his pitcher, Cold Iron. Your batter is going to be the shortstop, Tyler Monroe. This is Tyler's second at bat, the first time he grounded out over to Blake Grimm at shortstop. So 6-3 the first time. 0 for 1. Look for his first base hit of the game with Jackson Reddick over on first base. Reddick takes his lead from first. Cold Iron comes set. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses high and away for ball 1. One 0 count to Monroe. Throwback over to first. Runners back in time. Hardy's doesn't even put down the tag. So Reddick takes his lead off first. Monroe at the plate. Cold Iron comes set and delivers. Curveball that apparently missed a little bit high. Normally I would say it's a little more difficult from up high and that I don't have as good of a view as the guy behind the plate, but that was awful close. 2-0 delivery. Runner takes off for second. Jerry comes up throwing. And the runner will get in with a stolen base. So called ball on the play, so it is a 3-0 count. As Reddick steals. So first time Lincoln Southeast has had a runner in scoring position. 3-0 count on your batter shortstop, Tyler Monroe. There's a fastball over the outside corner, called for a strike, 3-1.
Sense the strikeout coming.
Here's your 3-1 delivery from Cold Iron. Outside and high off the plate. That's another base on balls.
Now batting number 6, Schmidt.
So we're going to have a quick timeout on the field as Coach Brian O'Flynn's going to come out and talk to his pitcher. Not really in any trouble right now, just having a little control issue. He'll work through it. All right, so this is going to bring up Eli Schmidt. Eli Schmidt wearing the number 6, playing center field. Last time Eli was at the plate, he bunted one right back to Cold Iron that he threw over to first to get the out. So he's 0 for 1 on the day. Got ducks on the pond, runners on first and second. I'm really hoping that Cold Iron turns into a duck hunter here and knocks him off. Here's the pitch from Cold Iron. Fastball down in the dirt, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 delivery from Cold Iron to Schmidt. Fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Again, for those of you just joining us, we're in the top of the 3rd inning here. Gretna's score remains 0-0, but with 2 outs, Lincoln Southeast has runners on first and second. 1-1 count on the batter, Schmidt. Here's the delivery. Busted fastball right on the inside corner. Froze the batter, 1-2 count. That's one of those pitches where you either have to jump on it right away out of the hand and pull it, or you're backing out of the way thinking it's going to hit you. 1-2 count from Cold Iron. Curveball fouled to the backstop. So Schmidt does a good job of fighting off a pitch there, as that was a really good cutting pitch by Cold Iron. 1-2 count on the batter. Cold Iron comes set. Here's the delivery. Curveball grounded to Benham over at third. He fields it, throws across the diamond. Hardy's over at first for out number 3. So they strand 2 runners on base. Still no hits in the contest for Lincoln Southeast, as both reached by the way of a walk. At the end of 2.5 complete innings of play, your score here from Gretna remains 0-0. All right, we're back in the bottom of the third inning here from Gretna. 0-0 ball game. Your batter is the catcher, number 1, Brian Jerry. Facing the first pitch from Kraus, fastball right down the tubes for strike 1. So Jackson Kraus, here's his 1-0 delivery. Fastball that misses just low. 1-1 count on the batter, catcher Bryant Jerry. So here's the 1-1 delivery to Jerry from Kraus. Comes from the full windup. Pitch is out off the plate, but he got him a fish after a 1-2 count on Jerry. Definitely a pitcher's pitch. Nice hard fastball up where they can see it up in the eyes and away, a little bit off the plate. One of those that's close enough at the plate, you can't resist it. 1-2 count here for Jerry. That fastball is way off the plate, cut in the middle of the left-handed batter's box. 2-2. This is Jerry's first at-bat in the ball game, the number 8 hole hitter. He's got the count even at 2-2. Pitch from Kraus a little bit inside and down, but fouled off by Jerry. Definitely don't want to let the umpire control the game. That's a good job of fighting off that pitch. Once again, a 2-2 count. Kraus out of the full windup delivers. And we have a fly ball into left field. The left fielder circles underneath it and makes the catch. So Kirchhoff had to run a little bit to his left, but it was a nice, easy jog camped underneath it for out number 1.
Now batting number 2, second baseman Bryce Grimm.
Brings up your number 9 batter, wearing the number 2, second baseman Bryce Grimm. Grimm has had a couple of nice plays already today over at second defensively. See if he can get it turned on the bat and get something going for the Baxter Juniors here in the bottom of the third inning. Kraus from the windup. Here's the delivery. Grimm lays a bunt down the third base line, but foul. Great idea. 0-1. Definitely bunting for a base hit as he was kind of a drag bunt. Was right out of the box as soon as the bat made contact with the ball. Third baseman Trumbull's definitely learned from that last one. He's in on the grass. Here's the 0-1. 0-1 pitch is inside. Almost hit him. 1-1 count for the second baseman, Bryce Grimm. Kraus from the windup with the 1-1 pitch. Fastball gets him swinging. 1-2. Again, if you're joining us online, this is the first of 2 games we're going to cover tonight. This is the juniors. We will have the seniors later on in action against Lincoln Southeast. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Grimm. And a ground ball hit to third, just foul, just outside the base. Looked like it was going to be a hot shot off the bat, and then it just kind of died. It just kind of fluttered. But it was just foul of the base. So the count will stay 1-2. Kraus from the full windup. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Fastball down, 2-2. One-two pitch. Ground ball dribbled to third baseman. He's got to charge in. Can't quite get the handle on it. It's one of those plays that I'm going to have to defer to.
Number 5, Blake Grimm.
Defer to my conscious Ernie Ross, but I'm looking at that as a base hit. That was a tough play.
Base hit.
And we're gonna give Grimm a base hit on that as the third baseman. Chambly really had to come in on the ball. It wasn't hit very hard. He had one chance to come and scoop it while running forward, and he just didn't quite get the handle on it, but excellent effort on the play. Brings up the bat Blake Grimm, the shortstop, who grounded out to short last time. So Grimm on first, Grimm at the plate. Here's the throwback over to first. Gets in under the tag. One out, one on for the Baxter Juniors here in the bottom of the third inning. Shortstop Blake Grimm at the plate right now. Here's the 0-0 delivery. Fastball on the outside corner for strike one. So here's the 0-1 delivery to Blake Grimm. Krause stays set for a long time. Grimm calls timeout. Try to break up that rhythm a little. Like I said, Krause has been throwing an excellent game, but he's very deliberate on the mound. Takes his time when he comes set. Throw back to first. Runner gets in time. Good quick move that can come from any time, whether he's set or just before he comes set. He's got a good quick spin over to first. He's already picked off one runner in the first inning. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. And this happens when you're throwing good and controlled like Krause has been so far. Sometimes those corners get a little bit bigger. You get the benefit of the doubt from the man in blue. It's a good pitcher's pitch. 0-2 count to Blake Grimm. Throw back over to first. Bryce dives in. He's in there in time. Like I said, very deliberate on the mound. When I tell you here's the delivery, he's coming set, and sometimes he's set for 2 to 3 seconds. He's set right now. Here's the 0-2. Curveball fouled off out of play. Blake did a great job of fighting off that pitch. Had to kind of lunge at it just to get the stick on it. Curveball was breaking really hard. It was a good pitch by Krause. That's one of those that you throw and you think you have a strikeout for sure, and then he reaches out and ruins it. Great job by Grimm of ruining that one. Count still 0-2. There's a fastball fouled right inside the line. That's going to be at least one. Bryce Grimm rounding second, comes into third. And Blake with a stand-up double right down the third base line. So with one out, Gretna has something going with runners on second and third.
Now batting number 4, Opfer.
So 2 runners in scoring position brings up your center fielder, number 8, Caden Opfer. Opfer last time fouled out to the third baseman. Kind of one of those halfway in between swings and just popped it off the end of the bat. Third baseman made a great running catch in front of the Gretna dugout. So with runners on second and third, Krause is going to go from the full windup again. And there's a great base hit by Opfer to the right center gap. That's going to bring in both runs. Opfer rounds first, but he's going to hold up there. Grimm times 2 scores. It's 2-0 for Gretna. So both Blake and Bryce Grimm cross the plate there on an excellent base drive by Opfer. Right over the second baseman's head, right into the right center field gap. Probably smart for him to stay at first as the outfielders got to that ball quickly, but there was no way they were going to catch the Grimms rounding third on that. That was one of those hits that you could see right off the bat was going to drop in. Opfer's over at first, brings up number 10, Joe Weiss. Weiss takes the strike on the inside corner. Opfer steals, and he's in safely at second base. So your right fielder, Joe Weiss, took the called strike on the first pitch. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Weiss. Opfer's up and stealing third. Here's the throw down to third. He's underneath the tag. Just beat it. So Opfer got a great jump. Again, very deliberate motion by the pitcher, Krause. So Opfer's at third. Pitch was called a ball as it was inside, just off the plate to Weiss. 1-1 count for the batter, Joe Weiss. Opfer now sitting at third, so runner on third with 1 down. Gretna's already brought across 2 in the frame, looking to add to it. Kraus back into the full windup now with the runner over at third base. Weiss calls timeout. Looks down at head coach Brian O'Flynn. What a specimen of a coach. He flashes the signals down to Weiss. Weiss is back in the box waiting for the pitch from Kraus. Fastball drilled up the middle, off the pitcher. Pitcher deflected it to second. Second baseman is going to make the play at first, but not before a run comes across. So calling an RBI fielder's choice for Weiss, as that's going to go ahead and bring a run in. So if you're going to have an out, you want to have a productive out like that. So now it's 3-0 with 2 down in the bottom of the third. Brings up to bat first baseman Kobe Hardees. Last time up at bat, grounded out to the shortstop. Nobody on, 2 down, Hardees at the plate. And the ball is fouled straight back to the backstop. Oh, 1 count on the batter Hardees. Kraus from the full windup. Curveball, Hardees hits it again, hard to shortstop, right between the shortstop's legs. Love to give you a base hit on that, Kobe, but I can't do it with a good conscience, so we're going to call that an error on the shortstop.
Now batting number 3.
Either way, it puts a runner on first base, so Hardees on first, brings up to bat Dudry, the left fielder. Now Carson in the second inning, the first time he came up to bat, hit was the benefit of the wind-aided base hit that fell right between the first baseman and second baseman back of first base. He's at the plate. First delivery is an outside pitch that gets by the catcher. Hardees is going to advance up and round second.
He looked like he unhooked a trailer there.
So the big fella moves up 90 feet. Puts him in scoring position for Dudry. One 0 count to Dudry, 2 down, runner on second base. Gretna's brought 3 across in the frame, another pitch down in the dirt. And this could be that Mr. Kraus is just a little rattled out there on the mound. He's been pitching a great game. 2-0 count. The ball is grounded foul towards the Dragon dugout. 2-1 is the count on the left fielder, Dudry. And we're going to have a timeout on the field as one of the coaches, either Mr. Tanner Lewis or Kyle Beacom, comes out to speak to his pitcher, Jackson Kraus. While we have this break in the action, I want to stress that Jackson has been throwing a great game out there, has had great control of his stuff. Good little pitcher. Good fastball that gets up on you fast. Moving stuff that when he's really on, a couple of those curveballs have been extremely sharp. It's kind of nice to have the benefit of sitting right up here directly behind home plate to see the angle those pitches come in. So I think he's just a little rattled now. If he just takes a couple deep breaths, I think he's going to be okay as he's pitching a heck of a game out there. A home plate umpire comes out to break up the huddle. And we're going to get back to baseball as everybody takes their places. Once again, it's a 2-1 count on Dudry. Hardees is on second base. They're 2 down. Inside curveball, ball in the dirt. The big fella is going to try to go over to third. Slides in under the tag. So Hardees moves up on a pass ball. Didn't squirt that far away, maybe 10 feet away from the catcher. And Hardees takes advantage of the mistake to move up. Runner on third, 3-1 count to your batter, left fielder Carson Dudry. Kraus now going for the full windup with the runner at third. There's a fastball hitting the hole. Dudry with an RBI single. So Hardees comes across to score.
Now batting number 6, designated hitter, Devine.
Your batter is now going to be the designated hitter, Zach Devine. Last inning, he hit kind of a chopping grounder right back at the pitcher. So Dudry's on first. Devine at the plate. Still 2 outs here. Swing and a miss by Devine on a fastball. Catcher threw down to first, but Dudry was able to get back in time. Oh, 1 count on Devine. Fouled off the fist over towards the Lincoln Southeast dugout. 0-2 count. So in the bottom of the third inning, you're scoring Lincoln Southeast 0 and Gretna 4. Gretna's brought across 4 runs in this frame. Still have something going with Dudry out on first. Devine at the plate. Here's your 0-2 pitch. On the outside corner, called strike 3 for the end of the inning. So Gretna brings up 8 people and scores 4 runs. Looks like there were a total of 4 hits. 1 man left on base. There was 1 error. So at the end of 3 innings, your score is Lincoln Southeast 0, Gretna 4. We'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here at the top of the 4th inning. Going to bring up to bat number 16, the pitcher, Jackson Krause. Cold Iron still out on the mound. He's had a great outing so far.
16, Krause.
So it looks like Jackson, his first at bat in the first inning, grounded out to the second baseman. So looking to get into the hit column. Actually, Lincoln Southeast is just looking to get into hit column at this point. Pitch from Cold Iron. Good fastball out and away. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Cold Iron doing a good job of throwing. I don't know if that's a cut fastball or a little bit of a slider, but he starts on the outside corner and breaks it away. Same pitch, but in the dirt this time. 1-1. Top of the 4th inning. Lincoln Southeast 0. Gretna 4. At a 1-1 count on the batter, Jackson Krause. Fastball again, tailing away on the outside corner. It's got to be a slider. I got to start calling that a slider. It's a 1-2 count. Whatever it is, it's pretty. He starts it right at the middle of the plate and breaks it out off the outside corner. Almost impossible pitch to hit if he keeps throwing it. 1-2 to Krause. Again, the pitch down and in the dirt. Good block by Jerry. 2-2 count. Cold Iron, who throws from the stretch position all the time, comes set. 2-2 delivery. Good fastball on the inside corner for a strike. Gets him frozen. Gets the backwards K in the book. Another strikeout for Cold Iron. It's going to be his 4th strikeout of the game so far.
Now batting number 13, Roberson.
Brings up to bat number 13, first baseman Trey Roberson. Made a good play climbing the ladder on a ground ball in the first inning. Sees the first pitch from Cold Iron out off the plate for ball 1. Roberson looking for the 0-1 delivery from Cold Iron. Fastball that stays just high.
Just got some news across the wire, Mr. Hardy's. Tommy Armstrong signed with the Minnesota Vikings.
Some news for you Husker fans. Just across the newswire, Tommy Armstrong, our quarterback for the last couple of years, just came to terms with the Minnesota Vikings. There's a foul ball out of play. Hit straight out from first base, out off the right field line. Brings the count to 2-1. So that's good to hear that Tommy's going to continue his football career somewhere. Signed as a wide receiver, didn't he, Ernie?
Yes, I do believe so.
I asked Ernie Ross because he is an encyclopedia of knowledge, folks. There's a fastball that comes in on the high side of the plate, called strike by the umpire, 2-2. Good pitch right at the top part of the zone. 2-2 pitch to Roberson. Curveball kind of hangs up high and just stayed there. Didn't break down, so it's going to be a full count. Top of the fourth inning, 0-4 in favor of Gretna. Full count on the batter, Roberson. Fastball up and in. He'll take his base. So that'll be the third walk issued this afternoon by Cold Iron. So Roberson will be over on first. Up to bat is the right fielder, Grant Snelling, who struck out his last at-bat. Struck out swinging. Cold Iron from the stretch. Runner takes his lead off first. Here's the pitch, curveball. Just missed down and out.
Your batter, number 5, Snelling.
So 1-0 count on Snelling. Roberson takes his lead off first. Cold Iron over to first. The Hardy's at the wrong side of the bag, so Hardy's just gloved it and threw it back to him. One-0 to Snelling. Here's the pitch. Just missed inside. 2-0. So 2-0 count on Snelling. I'm looking down the line. I don't see anybody up in the pen yet for Gretna. Throw over to first. Ball in the dirt. Nice scoop by the big fellow over there. Count remains 2-0.
Little action in the bullpen now.
Yeah, it looks like we got a couple of gentlemen getting up in the bullpen to throw.
Appears to be
So 3-0 count. Here's the pitch. Another one out and away. Second consecutive walk.
appears to be Divine warming up.
I saw Devine and Becker heading down to the bullpen.
Now batting number 10, Davis.
So Jerry comes out and has a word with his pitcher. Shortstop Blake Grimm comes in. Just a couple of words. Times like that out at the mound, you're just going out to tell your pitcher, you got this. Bring it over to the plate. We're behind you. So with runners on first and second, one out, they're going to move the first base corner in. So Hardy's playing in on the grass, looking for a possible bunt. Jaden Davis is your batter. Fouls it down the right field line into the fence just beyond the dugout. Strike one. So Hardy's is playing even with the bag. Benham back a little bit behind the line at third base. There's a fastball in the inside corner, fouled back over the backstop.
Foul balls are worth 50 cents at the concession stand.
If you happen to be here in the park and listening online, return those foul balls. You get yourself 50 cents at the concession stand. Tell them that Gretna Baseball Online Broadcast sent you. So 0-2 count to the batter Davis. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch from Cold Iron. Down in the dirt, he swings and misses, but with first base occupied, that's a strikeout. He can't try to take that base, so Davis strikes out for out number 2. Runner still on first and second. He's going to bring up to bat the third baseman, number 12, Devin Trumbley. Trumbley, his first at bat, struck out looking as he got froze by Cold Iron at the plate. Two-way, runners on first and second. He wheels and spins back to second, but no throw. Just holding the runners in check, making sure Roberson doesn't get too far away from second base. Roberson on second, Snelling on first. Your batter, Devin Trumbley. Here's the pitch from Cold Iron. Fastball up and away, ball one. So Vermeer High Plains looking to get something going. 1-0 count. Pitch right on the inside corner. 1-1 count.
That is a nasty pitch.
That pitch, he has that little tailing movement that moves as you're facing home plate or facing out to the pitcher's mound. It moves to the batter's right, and he started inside the plate and brought it back to the right to the inside corner. There's a curveball right over the outside corner. 1-2. Great pitch by Cold Iron. So Cold Iron has runners on first and second with 2 free passes, but looking to get himself out of trouble with some pitching here. Here's the 1-2 delivery to the batter, Trumbley. Another curveball grounded to Benham over at third. Takes a high hop, but he fields it. Throw over to Hardy's at first and gets him. So he pitches his way out of that inning. So they're going to strand 2. There were no runs on no hits. 2 men left on base. No Gretna errors. Going into the bottom of the 4th inning, your score remains Lincoln Southeast 0, Gretna 4. We'll be back in 30. And we're back going into the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score, Lincoln Southeast 0, Gretna 4. Leadoff batter for Gretna.
Excuse me. Yes, 17, Benham.
Your leadoff batter is going to be number 17, the third baseman, Tyler Benham. How many times in baseball do you see where a guy who makes a fine play is the first guy up to the plate the next inning? That's what's happening here as Benham made the final out, throwing over to Hardy's. Ooh, softball coming right over the top, almost caught somebody in the stand. I believe the pitch was a strike, but I was busy watching that yellow ball sail right beside the head of spectators. 0-1. Benham calls timeout. Probably just looking around to make sure he's not being attacked by softballs. 0-1 count. Benham with a hard ground ball to second. The second baseman comes over, fields it, throws over to first. For the put away, 4-3.
Now batting, number 1, Jerry.
Really good job there by the second baseman, Jackson Reddick, to stay down on that ball. Kind of had a little oomph to it, a little bit of a hop to it, and he stayed there, went down very nicely, came up with it clean, fired over to Roberson for out number 1. Brings up your batter, the catcher, number 1, Bryant Jerry. Last time he flew out to left field. Solid contact, but unfortunately right where somebody was standing. And this one will catch him right in the shin, so he's going to get first base the hard way, hit by pitch.
Don't you rub it.
And that one hurts right off the shin bone. They're going to have to give him a little time to recover over there at first. You'd rather be hit low than hit high, but oh my goodness, what a good time to use a courtesy runner. You got to like it as a catcher that you have a little time to sit down in the dugout and shake it off. So Connor Becker is going to come in and run for Bryant Jerry. Number 9, Connor Becker, now over at first base. So Jerry did the hard work, gets hit to get himself on first with one out, but being the catcher, they're able to put in a courtesy runner free of charge without using a substitution. So Becker will go over. There's a throwback in back of Becker, and he gets in just in time. So Krause's move kind of has our guys fooled. He has a real quick spin, and he's already throwing over to first before most of our guys are making their move back to the bag. So every play is close. There's another pickoff attempt, and this time Becker was ready for it. He was back on first movement, so not really close that time. So your batter is the second baseman, Bryce Grimm. He already has a single today on what was kind of a chopping ball that they weren't able to get to. Pitch on the inside corner. Becker takes off stealing second, and he's in time. Just give Mr. Becker a stolen base. So first pitch was a little bit inside as all that commotion was going on. So it's a 1-0 count on the second baseman, Bryce Grimm, with Becker in scoring position at second. One out for the Dragons. Another pitch way inside, and that catches Grimm. So we're going to have a second hit by pitch in a row. So that puts runners on first and second. So, unfortunately, our second baseman doesn't get a courtesy runner, so he's going to have to run that one out. Good news is it looked like it just caught the jersey or just nicked him. Enough to get him a free pass, but not enough to drop him, so. You figured he would be. But Jerry shook it off while he's in the dugout, but he still gets a little rest as a catcher. And trust me, after being behind there, playing that position, you'll take all the rest you can get. Shortstop number 5, Blake Grimm, is up to bat. He already had a big double right down the left field line earlier in the game. See if he can reproduce some of that magic now. Here's the pitch from Krause. Fouled hard line drive out of play down the right field line. That ball got over that dugout quickly. Thank goodness that wasn't any lower. That would have been right in the middle of the Lincoln Southeast dugout. Good cut there by Blake. 0-1 count, runners on first and second. Here's the delivery from Krause. Again, very deliberate, stay set for a couple of seconds. Curveball, the catcher couldn't handle it, and both runners were moving on the play, so they'll advance to second and third. So now 2 men in scoring position. And a 1-1 count on your batter, Blake Grimm. Krause into the full windup now with the runners over on second and third. 1-1 on the batter, shortstop Blake Grimm. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Fastball in the dirt. Runner got off third a little bit, anticipating the pass ball, so the catcher snaps behind, but he's back in plenty of time. Becker kind of holding his hand over there like he might have jammed it sliding into third base. 1-1 count. Grimm steps out of the box and looks down to Coach O'Flynn for the sign. Now Krause out of the full windup, back in the stretch, thinking that maybe Gretna has a play on. Infield all playing in on the grass. Fastball down in the dirt. 2-1. 3-1, 3-1 count. All right, so your defense for Lincoln Southeast, the infield is all pulled in on the edge of the grass, anticipating that Grimm may lay down a bunt. Grimm's got a 3-1 count, so this would be a good time for him to swing away if he gets his pitch. But he doesn't. It's out off the plate, and he takes the free pass.
Now batting number 4, Opfer.
All right, so this brings up Opfer. Opfer, whose last at bat had 2 big RBIs. He's 1 for 2 on the day, with that one hit being a nice hard line drive over the second baseman to right center field. Now he comes up with the bases loaded. Lots of Gretna Baxter players out on the field. Let's see if he can clear them off. Fastball on the outside corner, taken for a called strike. Bottom of the fourth inning here in Gretna. Your score Lincoln Southeast 0, Gretna 4, but Gretna is threatening with bases loaded and 1 out. Caden Opfer at the plate. Center fielder who already has 2 RBIs this game with a nice drive to right center field. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2 to Opfer. After Opfer, Weiss is in the on-deck circles, swinging, hoping he gets a chance to drive in some runs. Infield still in on the edge of the grass, looking to cut down the run at home. Swing and a miss. Opfer goes down on strikes.
Now batting, number 10, Weiss.
So 2 down is going to bring up Joe Weiss. So with bases loaded, Weiss gets ready for the first pitch from Kraus. Infield is now moved back to normal positions, so they're playing deep, not anticipating any kind of bunt here. There's a ball that's down in the dirt, caught a good break. It kicked up off the catcher and then off the umpire and just died behind home plate. The way that kicked, it looked like it might be a sure run on a pass ball. But caught a piece of the guy in blue, so 1-0 count. Weiss at the plate. Fastball fouled back to the screen, 1-1. So we got Becker on third, Bryce Grimm on second, Blake Grimm on first, and Joe Weiss at the plate with a 1-1 count, with 2 down, looking to add to the Dragons' 4-run lead. Some miscommunication between pitcher and catcher as Kraus steps off the back of the rubber. Weiss taking his time getting into the box. Battle of wills between the batter and the pitcher right now. 1-1 count. There's the pitch on the outside corner taken for strike 2. So 1-2 count to Weiss. Golden opportunity here for Gretna. Had the bases loaded with 1 out, you hate to come away from a situation like that without scoring any runs. 1-2 to Weiss. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on an upside and in fastball. So give some credit to Kraus. He pitched his way out of a big jam, striking out the last 2. So Gretna strands 3. There were no runs on no hits. 3 men left on base. Going into the 5th, your score remains Lincoln Southeast 0, Gretna 4. We'll be back at 30. All right, and we're back. Starting the top of the 5th inning here in the juniors contest between Vermeer High Plains and Lincoln Southeast juniors and the Baxter Gretna juniors. Ben Coldiron still out there on the mound. He started the game for Gretna. He's still out there slinging it, looking good. Here's his first pitch. Fastball misses inside to the batter, number 1, left fielder Cole Kirchhoff. 1-0 count. Fastball right on the outside edge, right at the knees, 1-1. Great pitch. Tell you what's been very impressive about Ben so far this outing, other than a couple little spats where he kind of struggled with control, his control's been on. Ground ball to the shortstop. Grimm over to Hardy's at first base for out number 1. That was kind of a hard chopper just to the left of second base. But Blake just coasted over there, made it look really easy. Great footwork. Fired it over to first. Had the runner by a couple of steps. It wasn't even close. Great play by the shortstop, Blake Grimm. And there's your first pitch to the second baseman, number 4, Jackson Reddick. Took a base on ball for his first at-bat. He starts this one by watching a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 count to Reddick. Cold Iron on the mound. Delivers. Pitch down in the dirt. Jerry kind of swats at it like a mosquito. Goes to the backstop. Yeah, he's a little beat up. He got hit right in the shin last time he was up to bat. So 1-1 count. Cold Iron on the mound facing the batter, second baseman Jackson Reddick. Fastball just out off the plate. 2-1. Top of the 5th and a contest scheduled for 7 innings of play. There's a pitch on the outside, fouled out of play down the right field line, out behind the Lincoln Southeast dugout, evens up the count. 2-2. So Reddick walked his first at bat, looking to get something started for Lincoln Southeast with 1 down here in the top of the 5th. Pitch from Cold Irons is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Great pitch on the inside corner, kind of tied him up where he couldn't really get a full swing at it. Ended up swinging a little bit late.
Batting number 7, Monroe.
Result is another strikeout for Cold Iron, so great pitch. Looks like Cold Iron's reached his pitch limit, so Flynn comes out of the dugout. And that's going to close the book for Ben Cold Iron.
Now pitching number 6, Zach Devine.
So Zach Devine is going to come in, moving from the designated hitter position. Since he was already in the lineup, he'll just stay where he's at in the batting order, but he's going to move to pitcher here in the top of the 5th. So for Cold Iron, we're going to close the book on him after 4 2/3 innings. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts. So great job with fooling the players at the plate. The only mark he's going to want to work on as the year goes on is he did issue 4 free passes. But a great outing for Ben Cold Iron. Looked really sharp, had good stuff, and was really effective with his pitches. Great job, Mr. Cold Iron. Definitely take a couple more outings like that. So the new pitcher with 2 down here in the top of the 5th is going to be Zach Devine. Zach started off as the DH today. Zach is a hard-throwing right-hander. Also has a real good fastball. Will get up on you quick. Breaking pitch, not a lot of movement on the breaking pitch, but it's effective because it has a late break when he's throwing it nice and hard. But his fastball is definitely his best weapon. When he's humming, he gets it up on you fairly quick. Looks like Mr. Devine is still the umpire, that he is warm and ready to go out there on the hill. So he's going to face the leadoff batter, Tyler Monroe. Tyler grounded to the shortstop in the first and walked in the third. And he takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Good start by Devine. Coming from the full windup, 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Another fastball, same place, right on that outside corner. Throws from a 3/4 arm slot, and he starts that ball out off the plate, just catches the plate at the last second. Curveball on the inside in the dirt, misses. 1-2 count. One-two count. Ground ball right back up the middle, over the top of second. Just before second, Grimm gets to it, shortstop. Blake Grimm makes a nice play, dead even with second base over to Hardy's for out number 3. So a good start for Zach coming in right away, getting the ground ball out. Lincoln Southeast goes down 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. Due up for Gretna, it's going to be Hardy's, Dudry, and then your pitcher, Zach Devine, will be back at 60. All right, so we're back here in Gretna for the bottom of the 5th inning. Gretna Juniors have a 4-run lead going into the inning. First batter is going to be the first baseman, number 19, Kobe Hardy's. Kobe is 0 for 2 on the day because Dad's mean. Grounded out to shortstop the first time. The second time it went right through the wickets at shortstop. So 2 balls he's hit over to short. Watches the fastball a little bit low and outside for ball 1. See if Kobe can square one up and get a good solid base hit here. 1-0 count to Hardy's. Still Krause on the mound. In the dirt and outside. Ball 2. So Krause is throwing a lot of pitches out there. 2-0 count to the first baseman Hardy's as he steps in. Here's the delivery from Krause. Fastball on the inside corner for a called strike. Another good tailing fastball. Started inside and just kept breaking inside. 2-1. Krause from the full windup. Here's the delivery. Foul ball. Fouled out of play down the right field line and out over the fence. 2-2 to Hardy's. Curveball out off the plate. Full count on Hardy's. Tried to get him to fish, but he wasn't in the mood.
There is a little movement out in the bullpen for Lincoln Southeast.
Here's the full count pitch. Worm killer. Nobody's going to get it. Hardy's heads down to first. Now the catcher's going to get it. So Hardy's will earn the base on balls. And that's going to draw a visit from the dugout for Lincoln Southeast. So, like I said, Krause has thrown a lot of pitches. He's had a couple of long innings. So it looks like our new pitcher is going to be number 3, Connor Mendoza, as he steps out to the mound to warm up.
Now pitching, number 3, Connor Mendoza.
We'll try to get all the lineup changes as it appeared that Kraus is going to stay in. Not sure where he's going to move to. I saw somebody else come off the field, but I didn't catch the number. We'll try to get the changes here. Mendoza on the mound. Little slider build. So far in warm-up, seen him throw a slider that doesn't slide much. Curveball that had pretty good movement on it, but also kind of fairly slow. Take a look at the curveball here. And just a big looping curveball. A lot of movement, but not really sharp. Just kind of from his hand drifts over there.
I ain't seen the other changes yet, but I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I saw Kraus looked like he stayed out there and somebody else went back into the dugout. So we'll try to get this all figured out here.
Where is Kraus?
Kraus went over to third. Looks like he went in for Snelling. So it looks like Mendoza enters for Snelling in the batting order. And Grant Snelling is going to take a seat. Connor Mendoza is going to take his place and is going to move to the mound. And Jackson Kraus is really overall through a pretty good game, is going to move over to third base. So with no outs, Mendoza inherits Hardy's over there on first after the walk. Brings up to bat Dudry.
How about him? Number 3, Dudry.
Throwback behind the big fella over at first. He dives in safe. So Hardy's takes his lead off first. Left fielder, number 3, Carson Dudry at the plate, yet to see a pitch. Now he sees one and hits it deep to left field. Deep to left field. Left fielder's going back, and off his glove, the ball falls. Hardy's had moved clear up almost to second base on the hit. I'm telling you right now, folks, if the wind wasn't blowing, I'm telling you right now that Dudry hit a home run. But the wind held it up. The left fielder got underneath it, but didn't judge it. It's off his glove. So unfortunately, got to give him an error on the play. So with the error, Hardy's moves up to second. Dudry to first, and now brings up your pitcher, who was the designated hitter, Zach Devine. Zach 0 for 2 at the plate today with a ground out back to the pitcher and a strikeout his last time at bat. Looking to lay down a sacrifice bunt here. And a balk is called on the play as he didn't come off the rubber when he made his move back. He didn't kick through. So the runners will both advance. So there's a freebie for Gretna. So without seeing a pitch, without laying down a sacrifice bunt, Devine at the plate by showing the bunt draws the balk. Moves the runners up to second and third. Still showing bunt at the plate is Devine. He's got the first baseman and third baseman way in. And then he hits a little chopper, a little dribbler to third baseman. Devine hustling down the line. Throw gets past the first baseman. Hardy's is going to come in to score from third. He's going to wave on Dudry. No, he held him back, but Devine's still running. Devine's all the way at third. So we got 2 people at third. Now Devine's caught between third and home. Dudry's heading home. Here's the throw to the plate. Tagged out at the plate. So Devine just kept on running. Didn't see that Dudry had pulled up back at third. Ended up getting him caught in a pickle here. So end of the play. Hardy's comes across to score. Devine ends up moving all the way to third on the overthrow at first. So that's going to be E5. And he'll advance to third. And because Devine ran into Dudry got thrown out at the plate. The shortstop throwing to the catcher. So runner on third, 1 down, brings up Benham. Pitch misses for ball 1 to Benham. So 1 run scored on the play. Gretna now with a 5-0 lead with 1 out. Devine on third and Benham at the plate. 1-0 pitch. In the dirt, blocked up. 2-0. So infield playing in on the edge of the grass again, looking to cut down the runner if he tries to break for home plate. Pitch right down the tubes. Taken for strike one. So Benham 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out to second base. Looking to change that here with a runner on third base. Called on the swing by the umpire. Tried to check it, but the bat flashed across the plate. 2-2. The catcher having a brief meeting out there as Davis goes out to talk to Mendoza. Maybe trying to get him to slow down a little bit as he's looked pretty close to blowing through his set point on the last couple of pitches. Have to see if the umpire is